Whereas the commissioners seek to foster desirable growth in Knox County in an orderly and well-considered manner, whereas under Ordinance 2006-13 and Ordinance 2012-9, the Knox County Board of Commissioners and Knox County Area Plan Commission have prepared a comprehensive land use plan, zoning restrictions, and land use regulations pursuant to Indiana Code Section 3674, collectively land usage regulations. Whereas the Knox County Area Plan Commission and the Knox County Board of Commissioners are authorized by Indiana Code Section 3674601 to adopt zoning and land use regulations to secure adequate light, air, convenience of access, and safety from fire, flood, and other danger, to lessen and avoid congestion in public ways, to promote the public health, safety, comfort, morals, convenience, and general welfare, and to otherwise accomplishes the purposes of Indiana Code 3674. Whereas ordinance number 2020-2 was enacted by the Knox County Board of Commissioners on September 1st, 2020 after public hearings and favorable recommendation from the Knox County Area Plan Commission on August 10th, 2020. The provisions of ordinance number 2020-2 were incorporated into the Knox County, Indiana zoning ordinance under sections 1502.001 through 152.265. Whereas on December 2nd, 2025 and January 6th, 2026, the Knox County Area Plan Commission held public hearings with public comment related to potential amendments to the Knox County Solar Energy Systems Ordinance. On February 3rd, 2026, the Commission passed Resolution number 2026, which set forth the Commission's informal recommendations regarding amendments to the Knox County Solar Energy Systems Ordinance. Whereas the Knox County Board of Commissioners have held public meetings with public comment related to potential amendments to the Knox County Solar Energy Systems Ordinance. Whereas the Knox County Board of Commissioners desire to adopt the informal recommendations of the Commission regarding amendments to the Knox County Solar Energy Systems Ordinance for the reasons set forth in the Commission's Resolution number 2026-1. Whereas adopting this ordinance will follow the statutory procedures outlined in Indiana Code 3674607 as the Knox County Board of Commissioners is initiating this zoning ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained that pursuant to Indiana Code 3674, the Board of Commissioners of Knox County, Indiana hereby ordain as follows. Pursuant to Indiana Code 3674607, this ordinance shall be referred to the Knox County Area Plan Commission for consideration and recommendation before any final action is taken by Knox County Board of Commissioners. As stated earlier, this step has already been taken and received with a favorable recommendation from Area Plan. That the Knox County Board of Commissioners ordinance number 2020-20 and the corresponding Knox County, Indiana zoning ordinance under sections 152.001 through 152.265 are hereby amended as follows. Under the definition sections 152.261, an additional definition of major thoroughfares shall be added. Major thoroughfares are going to be defined as public roads that are frequently used, have heavy traffic volume, and run in any direction and or connect with a U.S. or state primary highway. The Knox County Board of Commissioners or applicable local governing entity shall designate major thoroughfares on the master road plan for the political unit. In addition to that additional definition, section 7 is going to be added to section 152.264, development standards for commercial solar energy systems. The screening section is going to be amended as follows. In all instances that a CSES adjoins property with a residential dwelling, major public thoroughfare, or is located across a public road from a residential dwelling, screening shall be installed to reduce glare and inhibit view of the facility. The screening shall consist of the following: opaque fencing and vegetative screening to obstruct the fencing and solar equipment. The vegetative screening shall consist of plans approved by the Knox County Soil and Water District for solar projects to further the goals of native plant use, limit ecosystem impacts, ensure proper plant growth rates, establish minimum maximum sizes, and establish proper conservation guidance. The purpose of the screening requirement is to obscure the solar equipment from exterior view for major public thoroughfares and adjoining residential properties. The screening must be of sufficient height to conceal solar panels from view. The screening mixture of fencing and landscaping shall achieve a maximum or a minimum of 80% opacity year-round, starting from substantial completion of construction. No other amendments are made to the ordinance at this time. Section 3 of the ordinance is that any portion of any prior ordinances in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4 is that this ordinance does not repeal, preempt, void, or preclude any state or federal laws related to the regulation of solar energy systems and components thereof. Section 5, if any portion of this ordinance is deemed to be unconstitutional or in violation of state law by a court of competent jurisdiction, the remaining portions of the ordinance shall continue in full force and effect. In Section 6, this ordinance shall be in effect from and after its passage according to law.
Is there anything about the 300 foot?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, sorry. Thanks, Tim. Under the 152.264 Development Standards for Commercial Solar Energy Systems, Section A2, buffer zones, the minimum setback's 300 feet from foundation of any existing residence or principal structure to any SES structure. Sorry, the bold underlined 2 instead of the 3 skipped my attention. And I have the list of approved plans from Soil and Water if you want me to read those off as well. Please let me skip this scientific name unless you want a good laugh, but the common names are windbreak evergreen species would be eastern red cedar that grows to an average mature height of 30 to 50 feet, northern white cedar 20 to 60 feet, Virginia pine 20 to 40 feet, eastern hemlock 31 to 100 feet. Flowering species for wildlife and pollinators would be common choke cherry, which grows to 20 to 30 feet, flowering dogwood 15 to 30 feet, American plum 15 to 25 feet, pink turtlehead 2 to 4 feet, and shrubs for quail and turkey would be hazelnut 8 to 16 feet, wintleberry 5 to 15 feet, nannyberry 10 to 18 feet, smooth sumac 8 to 15 feet, fragrant sumac 2 to 6 feet, black raspberry 2 to 8 feet, and false indigo bush, which is 10 feet. You don't have to have a third reading because it was a favorable recommendation from area plan.
Okay, so you don't have to have a third.
It's effective as of today. You can do a third reading if you want.
Moving on, ordinance 2026-4, growth board and cut procedures, second reading.
This was read in its entirety at the last meeting. Hang on, let me get back to it in my packet here. This was just to update the road and cut boring ordinance. This is amending ordinances number 14/2007 passed 12/17/2009 and ordinance 1/2011 passed 2/7/2011 and ordinance 8/2013 passed 5/20/2013. Do you want me to read this all on second reading?
Yes.
Okay. Whereas the Knox County Board of Commissioners, as the executive and legislative body of Knox County, has the authority to adopt ordinances relating to the administration of Knox County government. Whereas the purpose of this ordinance is to regulate access under and along the roads in the county in order to ensure proper drainage and to provide locations of general utilities in the area. In addition to the standards below, all standards of the zoning ordinance shall be met. Permits and/or access may be denied if any one of the following standards is not met, is deemed hazardous, is contrary to the comprehensive plan, or is not in accordance with any other existing ordinance. Whereas a county road cut or bore permit shall be required prior to trenching, excavating, digging, installing poles, or other hardware used for overhead utilities, or any other activity which results in the interference, removal, or destruction of any surface or subsurface of any county road, or areas adjacent to the roads belonging to the county. Therefore, be it ordained that application, all road bores or road cuts shall be initiated by the filing of the Knox County Highway Department application for road bore or road cut permit with the Knox County Highway Department. The application shall include a map of the area and roads involved in the proposed bore. The application must demonstrate how any buried objects will be located. All applications shall show on the preliminary plans submitted to the county surveyor any utilities located in the county right-of-way. The application shall indicate what protection will be provided to the utilities located along or in the roadbed. Section D, all applicants shall include a cross-section showing the depicted bore road cut. Section E, all requests shall contain a plan and profile clearly depicting how the road presently exists. The plan profile also indicates the existing surface thickness and type. Section 2, isolated occurrence. Bores or road cuts will be granted on a one-time basis. Permit shall contain an expiration date by which time the bore shall be finished. Road bore fee. The fee for a road bore will be $200. At the time of the application, there will be a $200 deposit required in addition to the road bore fees. The $200 deposit shall be returned to the applicant upon the filing of an as-built drawing with the County Highway Department within 30 days of completion of the work. Failure to file an as-built drawing within 30 days after completion of the project will result in forfeiture of the deposit. All application fees will be placed in the temporary road closure and road crossing fund to be administered by the county commissioners as set forth in Ordinance 2/2007. Section 4, road cut fee. The fee for a road cut will be $500. At the time of the application, there will be a $500 deposit required in addition to the road cut fees. The $500 deposit will be treated just as the road bore fee for the $200 deposit, and it will be deposited as well in the temporary road closure and road crossing fund. Section 5, approval process. The County Highway Department Superintendent will provide a response relative to the approval or denial of the permit within 30 calendar days of when the application was originally submitted, or notify the applicant via phone or by letter of any delays and provide a new expected date for completion. Should the permit be denied and the applicant wish to appeal the decision of the County Highway Department and or any other county agency involved with the review and decision-making process, the applicant can resubmit the permit to the Board of County Commissioners. A copy of any submittal to the Board of County Commissioners must be sent to the County Highway Department, and the applicant must be placed on the Board of County Commissioners' regular meeting agenda. The Board of County Commissioners will then be requested to act on the approval or denial of the road cut permit. Section 6, inspection of cut bore. Pre-cut bore inspection. The County Highway Department will obtain pictures of the affected area prior to the work starting and when the work is completed. This will require the applicant notify the County Highway Department via phone, letter, or in person at least 5 business days in advance of when the work identified in the permit is to start. The applicant must also notify the County Highway Department within 5 business days of when the work is completed. Post-cut bore inspection. Upon notification by the applicant that the work is complete, personnel from the County Highway Department will inspect the work site to ensure all the provisions of this ordinance with regards to specifications, the scope of work, and the required remediation of the road and any other affected area resulting from the work effort has been satisfactorily completed by the applicant. If the remediation of the road and or any other affected area is found to be unacceptable, corrective actions will be pursued by the County Highway Department. Section 7. Applicant maintains roadway and signage. Any road bore cut requires the applicant to maintain the roadway and signage to protect the public, which shall include but not limited to keeping the portion of the county highway crossed clean and free of trash, mud, debris, fluids, oils, and the like, and keeping the crossing free of dust. All requests for road crossing shall contain a description of all traffic control signs pertaining to the crossing. Section 8, restoration of road. The The applicant shall restore any road disturbed or damaged by a road bore or cut and provide to the Knox County Highway Department superintendent a plan showing the approximate grade of the restored road, the width of the restored road, and the proposed drainage of the restored road. The surface of the restored road shall be the same as the road prior to temporary closure. The county must approve the plan prior to restoration of the road. Upon completion of the road cut work by the applicant or his or her their designated person, the applicant must notify the County Highway Department within 24 hours of this status. The County Highway Department will inspect the applicant's work and make arrangements to remediate the road cut within 30 calendar days and/or advise the applicant of any further work the applicant needs to complete. The County Highway Department superintendent or his or her designate has the option to extend this completion timeframe as circumstances warrant, e.g. weather, availability of materials and/or equipment, resources, and the like. Once the remediation work is done, the applicant will receive an invoice for the total cost to include material, labor, equipment, and any premium charges that may have resulted. The applicant will have 30 calendar days to pay the invoice amount and/or make payment arrangements approved prior to the County Highway Department superintendent or his or her designated person. Failure to comply with any provision of this chapter may result in penalties and fines as outlined herein. Section 9, this is a privilege, not a right. The granting of a road bore or cut application is a privilege and not a right to private entities. It is the responsibility of the applicant to initiate consultations with the county, utility companies, the Department of Natural Resources, or any other state agencies as required under the circumstances. Early coordination will help in avoiding delays at a later date. Section 10, reservation of rights. The county commissioners specifically reserve the right to amend these policies and procedures and to grant variances from these policies and procedures and to grant variances from the policies and procedures if the county commissioners decide it is in the best interest of the county. Section 11, penalty. In the event that an applicant completes a road cut on county right-of-way without the issuance of the proper permit, the applicant may be fined up to the maximum allowed by state statute, which at this time is $1,500. If it becomes necessary, all legal venues would be pursued to recover all costs related to this activity and process. The applicant, to include any all parties involved with directing or performing the work, will be barred from doing any further work on county roads and property zone or under the supervision of the county. Section 12, conflict. Any portion of any prior ordinances in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed. 13, void. If any portion of this ordinance is determined to be unconstitutional or in violation of state law by a court of competent jurisdiction, the remaining portions of the ordinance shall continue in full force and effect, and the effective date upon after its passage according to law. Which this is second reading, but it can be approved by second and third reading today.